Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Sofia Anwar and I am a final year student at University Sultan Zainal Abidin. I am majoring in risk management and right now I am undergoing my internship at the Malaysian Dutch Business Council here in Kuala Lumpur. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you so much to Dr. Mazina for getting me involved in the ESG dialogue with you guys. I actually talked to Dr. Mazina about this months back, even before she had any plans of coming to Jember. I talked to her about the ESG landscape now that I am working in the corporate world, because ever since I joined MDBC, my boss, Mr. Marco Winter, has sent me to various sustainability conferences and dialogues in Kuala Lumpur. And what I noticed is this trend surrounding ESG. You know, ESG is being spoken of here and there because companies are really focusing on achieving sustainability, corporate governance, and how they can give back to the community. That is essentially what ESG is about. So, like I said, I talked to Dr. Mazina and then I talked to her about how concerning it was that, first of all, myself, I had no idea what ESG was. I mean, like, when I was at university, I knew what ESG was. I knew what it stood for, what it stands for. But I didn't know the actual context of it. I didn't know the gist of ESG, especially how important it is now that I've joined the industry. And that's what everyone seems to be talking about. But you know, the thing is, no one at my university ever talked about ESG, and it somehow makes us inferior to our private university counterparts because they are very well equipped with industrial knowledge and they've been doing ESG talks for years already. So do you see how left behind we are? And I spoke to a lecturer from Jember who teaches economic development, and I got her opinion on this matter. So apparently, it's the same with Indonesian universities, whereby the students just aren't well versed when it comes to what's actually going on in the industry. So I attended an ESG talk about a month back, and what really stuck with me is how the keynote speaker, Mr. Murgasan from Novan CS, a cybersecurity firm, he mentioned that ESG itself is a bottom-up approach. Now, what this means here is that ESG practices begin from the very base level, which is, in our case, the students. Now, if the students themselves understand ESG and try to incorporate it in their daily lives, then soon the upper management will have to follow. I feel like the youth of our generation puts so much more emphasis on sustainability, ethical business conduct, and what we can give back to our community, which makes us the perfect medium to actually practice ESG on campus. And of course, me being a risk management student, I also have to view this from a very risk management perspective. I once spoke to the Director of Sustainability of the Malaysian Timber Council, and one imperative drawback of ESG is the fact that no party or no organization has been able to develop an actual framework for specific industries to practice ESG. But if we can equip ourselves with industrial knowledge from now on, companies will be flocking towards us, wanting an executive who will be able to develop some kind of policy for the company to comply with ESG. At university level, I've proposed to Dr. Mazina before about how just learning individual elements in class is not enough. Personally, I think that risk management students should take ESG courses to really embed ourselves with this ESG knowledge. Now, the thing here is that these steps need to be taken now, because in 5 years' time, who knows what new policy becomes a trend in the corporate world? By then, ESG might be already obsolete. And I also proposed to Dr. Mazina to use ESG guidelines to develop a metric to evaluate student program effectiveness. Now, what this means is that whenever students want to conduct a program, whether inter-university level or intercontinental level, they need to see if all aspects of their program fits into the ESG guidelines. Like I've said before, if it's being done on the student level, sooner or later, the university management will have to create an ESG policy and framework of their own. So, in conclusion, I have so much more to learn about ESG and also a lot more knowledge to equip when it comes to the industry. But if I don't try to educate and spread awareness to my fellow students about real-world situations, then what's the purpose of me joining international organizations and such, right? By educating you guys about the reality of ESG, maybe I can say that I've done my part to contribute back to my community. Now, I would love to talk more about ESG and join more conferences and dialogues surrounding corporate sustainability. And if you're ever given the chance, you should join too. You have to contribute something back to your university and society as a whole, because when firms and organizations are able to achieve ESG objectives, then surely we can pave a way for our developing nations to achieve SDGs as well, Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. So I hope you guys understood what I'm saying here about what I'm sharing, and I hope that it actually benefits everyone in the long run. So that's all from me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.